Hello there, welcome to 3Spoonies. We're your hosts, Karen, Claire, and Joe. This is episode 15.5, where we're going to be discussing horror stories. Let's collapse into some questions. Mwahaha!
The Activity Connector's mission is to inspire children, young people and adults alike to find the right activities for them through collaboration. We believe there is a sport or activity for everyone. We aim to bring organisations together to benefit children, young people and adults within the educational setting. If there is a particular need, we would love to talk to you and see if we can help you fill that need. We are currently working with organisations in domestic abuse, county lines and mental health, first aid training and sports coaching. And do you have a hobby that makes a massive impact to you, or are you looking for that hobby? Why not drop us a message or take a listen to the Power of the Hobby podcast? We're always looking for more guests to come on and share what they love to do. Or do you work for a charity and want to get more exposure about what you do? Or are you looking at sports events and need more support to set these up and run them? Why not drop us a message and we can chat to see how we can offer to support you.
Hello, I'm Karen from Pony Pony Pony.
I'm Claire from Sparkle's Gift Boutique.
And I'm Joe from Bright Cat Business Solutions.
We are 3Spoonies navigating our way through life and business with not enough spoons. And Claire is here to share some lovely horror stories with us all. Hurrah!
Yes, I am. I have 4. So our first one, it is sent in anonymously. So kind of from reading it, I get it. So I will share the first one. A few years ago, I took a marketing position, and after a brief training, I realised that I had to carry a wooden sign in a supermarket every day and stand there and promote various products. There was no specific time schedule. I could stay there as long as I wanted, so long as I reached my sales goals. At the end of the day, we would gather in the company's offices. Our manager would step in while the speakers played music at maximum volume, and the show would begin. We would ring a bell and have a cheery round of applause for everyone who reached their goals. But what about those who had almost reached them? We would form a circle, and that person would stand in the middle and act like chicken, because apparently they chickened out instead of hitting their targets. Oh, and if anyone's phone rang in the middle of this show, they immediately had to do 10 push-ups. I mean, talk about degrading.
That
is the thing that comes to my mind.
Cobra Group. It's Cobra Group, yeah.
It's like, I mean, I wouldn't have stayed. I'd be like, bye.
I'd have left on the first day.
It's 12 solid hours a day they expect you to do, and 8 hours on a Saturday. You're too tired to leave. Anything that is offering you commission only and is slightly vague about when they're going to start paying you, run for the hills.
Run as fast as you can. So our next one is from Amanda, and hers is: a client terminated her services and demanded back her retainer because Amanda's son was in hospital having emergency surgery to have his appendix out, and she couldn't do something straight away for the client. Don't do a service-based business. So
I do.
You do. Surely clients, I mean, as a customer, if you were my client, if I was your client and there's certain things you can't get done immediately, surely.
Yeah, there is. And generally if something like that happens, I would inform all my clients, this is happening, this is when I'll be back. If it's urgent, you should have already ordered it to me. And I took a week off not long ago to help mum after a cataract op. I could have worked from there, and I built us a website, but there was too many distractions that I couldn't focus fully on my work. And I would rather give my clients my full attention and do it properly than half-arse it and just so it's done. Anybody going nuts because something couldn't be done immediately, especially as a spoonie, they already know it's not getting done immediately. If it's urgent, I need at least 24 hours notice.
Yeah, and if it's,
I would be
if you're doing it half-assed, there's more chance of you making a mistake.
There is.
Yeah, also, if it's something medical, that's something it's like can't be helped, either you can't reschedule the appointment or it's an emergency that's just come up, real life exists.
Yeah, and some people don't get that.
Mm,
No. So that one that definitely threw me because I was just like,
mm.
I've had times when I had to message people and be like, as I'm making things, be like, this has come up, it's going to take a few extra days, and
People
I'm pretty
generally
sure
understand.
Amanda would have said like, this is happening, like, I'm not going to be around, and surely you can just do some things yourself. That sounds really harsh, but no, you could.
Yeah, if it's that urgent, get it done yourself. And
Yeah,
when I'm back, when my son's not in hospital.
Yeah, it's
you
also
know,
that thing if, you were that party and you sort of said, oh, well, I'd say this is going to be slightly late, the invoice is going to be late because my employees had to take their son into hospital. I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't go, oh, do you know what? Fair enough. Okay, right, understandable.
yeah. Okay, so on to horror story number three. This is a long one, so buckle up and get ready to listen. This is from Sheena Wyatt, and here we go. Do you realise the knock-on effect it has when you don't pay your suppliers on time? It might not sit not there. It might seem like no big deal to you, but it's a real horror story for them. I get it. Your focus is on your cash flow. You're looking at your bills from your suppliers and you've overspent. You haven't managed your cash flow properly or built up a rainy day piggy bank to bridge the gap. You're looking at your bills, your incomings, and you can't make them meet in the middle. Then you make a choice. You make a choice not to pay. And that's where the horror story begins. It doesn't matter if you're MD of a national organisation or a stay at home mom trying to launch a business, you are responsible. You are responsible for the cash flow in your business, not your supplier. When they enter into the agreement with you, they are doing it based on trust. Trust that you will pay them on time for services they deliver or you have already provided. When you break that trust by not choosing to pay them either on time or at all, you create a whole new horror story for them. When you choose not to pay their bill, you affect their cash flow, their ability to pay their own suppliers. You can also affect their mental health. The emotional energy that is then put into managing the consequences of your choice not to pay is massive. Worrying about approaching you to sort out the problem, worrying about their own suppliers, worrying if you will hold up your end of the bargain and behave as a responsible business owner should, worrying about the outcome of these conversations. Worry, anxiety, stress, anger, disappointment, resentment, and fear, all caused by your decision not to pay or not to pay on time. And you know what? You can stop being the cause of all this horror story, of all this horror, by simply having a conversation. By shouldering the responsibility of not managing your own cash flow properly and by asking for support to work it out, I guarantee you, unless you have a history of promising payment and never delivering, that your supplier would rather work with you and find a solution that suits you both than rather than going through that horror story again. So the next time that you think about making a decision about whether to pay or not, because you have cocked up the cash flow in your business or need to be the victim of a payment horror story of your own, take a moment to think about what that means for the bigger picture. Your professional reputation will suffer if you do not make responsible decisions. Your personal brand will suffer if you do not, if you choose to treat fellow business owners in this way. I can't read today. Your customers and suppliers will start to vote with their feet. But most importantly, would you want to be treated that way with such disregard and selfishness? Don't be that person. It's simple. Be the responsible business owner that your supplier and your customers want you to be. That's a lot in there
That is,
from all perspectives. And I get it because I know when I struggle with thinking, oh, have I got money to pay this? Have I got that? But you know what? If I'm going to be later than the day that I'm meant to be paying, I would always give a heads up at least a few days before to be like,
Mm.
it's tight this month. This is what's going on. Honestly, and they'll respect you more for it.
Well, that and you know what's happening if someone says, oh, can I have an extra week to pay? Most of the time it's like, okay, I know the money's coming in, as long as people aren't then lying, which is the problem. That I've had people go, oh, can I pay on this date? So this date, yeah, it's fine. Oh, you didn't pay, did you? Oh, yeah, it'll be in on this date. It's like, will it now? And like it says, that's damaging your relationship there because once you've lost that trust, that's pretty difficult to get back. So yeah, be honest if you can, especially with small companies where it really matters.
yeah.
Like certainly I've had points when I might have fudged, say, paying my gas bill when I accidentally paid £8 rather than £80. Ooh, whoops, silly me, but payment's gone through. But, you know, British Gas isn't going to be crying into their pillow about that money, whereas a small business, that 80 quid could have made all the difference to them getting materials they needed, paying for a subscription they need. It just matters more when it's on a smaller scale, I think.
It
Yeah,
does. I
there's
mean,
a big knock-on effect.
I've had that horror story, and at one point I had 3 different clients with outstanding payments, and I eventually I added it up, and it was nearly £4,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we were
That's
struggling.
a painful one.
Yeah, we were struggling at that point. We needed that money, and yeah, that relationship broke down. These days, I'm a bit more strict, and it's like I don't mind if people take a bit longer to pay. I don't mind if they're paying for access to work, because which takes a little. I know eventually I'm getting paid, so long as I'm kept in the loop.
Mm.
Yeah, just a bit of communication is all that we ask for.
Yeah.
So our last horror story, and this is another one that I wouldn't have stayed in the job for, so I'll read it out and see what you guys think. So this is from Lisa. Hers is, the company I worked at had cameras, mics, and speakers installed all over the place, even the kitchen. If you spent an extra 2 minutes at lunch, the wife of the business owner was screaming at you through the speakers. She would also get her manicures and pedicures in the office, and afterwards, ask employees to empty the bucket she had used to soak her feet in. Um,
That's not
like,
part of the job description, and yeah, I'd be had to.
but the cameras, mics, and speakers everywhere. Like, who does
Creepy.
that? I get cameras completely because you've got to monitor things. In the kitchen, surely nothing untoward is going on in the kitchen. Yeah, I just find it very excessive. It's just mad.
Yeah, that's not a good management style. It's not filling me with love, to be honest.
But it also makes me wonder, like, she's the wife of the business owner. Does she even work for the company if she's just there screaming at you through the cameras and getting a mani-pedi? Like,
Probably not. She's just there to stick a nose in.
it's
Yeah, somewhere I worked, there was someone who was very much unqualified, but was going out with the general manager who acted like she was manager and would throw her weight around. And this was, I'm trying to be as vague as possible, within a setting where there's very specific laws governing how things are carried out. And she was giving terrible advice to everyone based on something she basically made up. And it was like, okay, ignore anything she says, like ever. It's just
just do
easier
what you
that
know you
way.
need to do. Oh, yeah, no, that is awful. That is all our horror stories from our community questions. Joe, do you have horror stories you want to add?
No, I don't think I do. I mean, I think I added them in the last episode.
We did.
For everybody who contributed a horror story, I would like to say that.
Yeah,
And
thanks for sharing and being honest and open.
Yeah, thank you for living it so we didn't have to.
Yeah, that most importantly, thank you for your sacrifice.
That got a little bit dark, but that's okay. So, thank you for joining us all for 3Spoonies on horror stories. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments and any questions you have. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe for our weekly podcast and leave us a review. You can find us on social media and our website, and we'd love it if you join us in the Business Success Network for Disabled Entrepreneurs Facebook group. You can also buy us a coffee if you like what we do. Links in the show notes. We'll see you next week for our next topic on feast and famine. Have a great day and keep track of your spoons.